again and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today, I think, as far as I know for the first time, I'm going to talk about a record for the second time. That's right, I'm going to talk about the Who's Next. And I did the original, the real Who's Next album over a year ago. I think it was in 2023. And today I'm going to do a little bit of a different version of Who's Next. The songs are all the same. But the actual album is different, and I will explain. And the reason why I'm doing this today and the reason why I have this album was, you may have seen the last video that I uploaded. I guess by the time this one airs, it will have been 2 days ago. I went to a place called El Chopito in Cuernavaca, where I live. And this is like a, kind of like a, is it a takeoff or a send-up? Something like that of El Chopo, the big, metal punk rock market in Mexico City. And I went there and I got a couple of, I mentioned in that video that I got a couple of records. One of them was this one that I'm going to talk about today. And this is kind of strange. So this is called, and it's a strange, it has nothing visually, nothing to do with Who's Next. And here's the original Who's Next. All right. And so there's the original. As you can see, it has nothing to do with it. And so I was doing this. I was, flipping through the records like this, and I saw, you see the top, and I saw the Who. I thought, what is this? And I saw the picture, and it says 30 Años de Musica rock, Salvat. I don't know what that means. Well, I didn't know what that means. I know what the words mean, but I thought, what is this? I don't understand. And I looked at the back, and it has the same thing. It has this old picture of the Who from like probably 65 or 66. And I looked at the song titles, and it says that side A is Who's Next, and also side B, cara A and cara B, are Who's Next. It has all the same songs, 9 songs, same as far as I know, the same track length for each song. It looks about right. And I have no idea what this is, and it's from 1984. And I asked the guy how much it was, and it was 100 pesos. And I thought that's about as cheap as you'll ever find for a record in Mexico. So I bought it. Now, I think part of the reason I bought it was because I love the Who. 2, because I love this album. 3, I kind of felt bad at El Chopito. There's, people selling things, and I think there were more people selling things than there were people there, customers buying things like me. And I wanted to give this guy a little bit of business. So I didn't even try to get it cheaper. He said 100 pesos, so I said, okay. Now, the reason why I bought it, more specific to that, is I don't know how many episodes ago, 2 or 3 episodes ago, of I Want to Talk About This album, I did the Who live with orchestra, and which is kind of funny. This all kind of goes together. I bought that one because I had been really into Who mode for, I don't know, a few days or a week at that point, and I saw that it was really stood out to me. And then I watched something else I'm going to talk about shortly. Is I don't know if it'll fit in the title or the video description. A bonus, I'm going to talk about the Kids All Right DVD. And now I'm all over the place already. It doesn't take long to get derailed for me. So all of this combined, I think just everything these days for me is pointing to the Who. And so after I listened to and did the episode that night of the Who with Orchestra, the Live at Wembley triple record set that I did a few episodes ago, I watched Kids All Right that night, and that got me listening to, I've been listening to the Who all week because of that. And so it was kind of cool that this showed up. So that's why I bought it, and that's why I talked about it, or why I want to talk about it. But before I get to that, I'm going to get to, and maybe it's out of laziness too, that I've already done this record, and it's easy, for me to talk about. And I don't think I can stress strongly enough how much I love Who's Next, whether it's this version, this Mexican version, or the original version. And I'm trying to find some kind of, we love to, when we talk about music or anything, people love to have superlatives and groups and categories and try to, fit things into all these places. And I was trying to think about that with Who's Next, and I thought of some stupid thing. This is the record that, now I can't say it's one of my favorite records of all time, because I didn't get it until 2003. I liked the Who before that, but I wasn't a big fan. And so I got Who's Next in 2003, And so I can't say that it's my favorite album. People love to say of all time because it's very dramatic. I can't say it's one of my favorite albums of all time because I got it far, far too late. I was 33 years old in 2003 when I got it. So the category that I can put it in, if it's not one of my favorite records of all time, it's the album that had been out the longest before I discovered it. It's the highest on that list, if you know what I mean. You know, I listened to the Beatles and Led Zeppelin long after they came out. Of all those records that came out, and I got them long after, this, Who's Next, is my favorite. That was a terrible explanation, and probably a terrible logic too, but I really, really love Who's Next. Like I have to consider it. It should be, I think, and I guess it is, one of the greatest rock albums ever. I love it. Obviously, it's my favorite Who album. And I just, every song is great, and I'll go through the songs probably kind of quickly. I don't have too much to say because I've talked about them. I talked about them when I did the Who's Next episode, and I talked a little bit about some of the songs from Who's Next that were on the Who with Orchestra live at Wembley a few episodes ago. And so this, getting back to this quickly before I get to The Kids Are Alright, when I got home, I researched this. And when I say research, I mean I went to Google. And it turns out that this 30 Años de Musica Rock, or this Salvat, it's like a series. I know there's another one, I think it was called 80s Rock or something like that. I've seen Twisted Sister records in that series. Rat, I think Doc and maybe Y&T. And so I guess this was a series of records printed or pressed in Mexico. Maybe it was too expensive to import them then at that time. This was in the 80s. And so they put them out in this series. I guess that's why it's completely different. And it's got a bunch of text there in Spanish. I just kind of glanced over it. It's basically like the history of the Who. And this one came out in 1984, this version that I'm holding now. So the actual, Who's Next came out in 1971, but this came out in 84. So when I listened to Who with Orchestra live at Wembley last week, I watched, that kind of inspired me. Not kind of, it did inspire me to watch this, The Kids Are Alright. Now, I got this in 2003 when it came out, and watched it obsessively in 2003, 4, maybe 5, up to 6. I used to watch this a lot, really, really a lot. I loved it. It's so great. And I hadn't seen it for years until I watched it last week. And man, it brought me all the way back to my 30s. The old days when I was in my 30s, and remember how much I loved watching this. It's just so great. And something stupid story that I remember about this that I'd kind of forgotten about. This, as you can see, this is called a special edition. Now, when this came out in 2003, this was remastered. This was a big deal, I guess, when this came out, because the original Kids Are Alright film or documentary, whatever you want to call it, came out in 1979. And I guess it was never available on home video after that, or maybe like as a VHS, but a very, very shortened version of it, maybe an hour, I don't know, something like that. So this was a big deal when this came out, and everything was remastered, sound and video, looked great, sounded great, lots and lots of bonus stuff on here. Now, getting back to the special edition. So when I bought this, I saw it was coming out. I bought it when it was brand new. I don't know if it was the day it came out, but shortly after anyway. And let me just show the packaging here. It's really cool. It comes in this slipcase like this, and there it is. It's got this, it opens up like this. It seems this episode is going to be more about Kids Are Alright than it is going to be about Who's Next. So it's a double DVD. Now, I had to download it when I watched it last week because I bought a Blu-ray player a few years ago, and they still put these regions on them. Most of the DVDs that I've bought in my life, I bought in Canada, and including this one, and it turns out that they don't play on the DVD player that I bought, so it turned out to be a waste of, I don't know, $200 or $300, however much it was. So I couldn't watch the actual DVD, but I did download it, which is fine, although I couldn't find the download of the bonus disc. But anyway, so going back to this, and I still have this, and what a great package this is. It comes with this really cool and quite detailed book. This is quite thick. How many? 26, 27, 29, looks like 30 pages. detailing pretty much everything that is on the DVD. Some, I guess, liner notes from the director, Jeff Stein, and some cool things like this. But it also came with this little promotional thing, just a square package. So here, there were two versions of this that came out, and they had the identical packaging. There's this one and this one. What's the difference? Nothing. Visually, there's nothing. The one that I have is called the Special Edition. It's a double disc DVD. It has like it says the original movie, film, documentary, whatever you want to call it, and restored sound, restored video. Looks and sounds great. And then it has the bonus disc with, it says over 5 hours of bonus material, new interviews with Roger Daltrey, new interviews with director Jeff Stein, multi-camera angles. Remember that when you can switch the camera angles? That was pretty cool. 100 minutes of never before seen multi-camera angle footage. The restoration of the film, The Miracle Cure. Isolated audio tracks of John Entwistle. I mean, they spelled Entwistle wrong on here with an H. ENTWH. I think there's no H in Entwistle. And then some other stuff on here. And then what they call the deluxe edition was just the movie. Now, isn't that stupid? That the regular standard, only the movie is the deluxe, and then the one with all the great extras is the special edition. Seems like that's bad language. It should be the other way around. So I remember when I bought this, I think I didn't know that there were two versions, or I probably did know, but of course I would have wanted the one that I thought was better. And I remember there was almost maybe no distinction on the packaging. So I saw this, and you Canadians, if there are any of you watching out there, you may remember Future Shop. What a great store Future Shop was. I bought it at Future Shop in Waterloo or Kitchener or something. And I bought it, and then when I got home, I realized that it was the single disc because they look identical. There was nothing aside from, where's the slipcase? Aside from this, which is kind of almost barely visible, there's no difference. So I realized I bought the wrong one. I took it back to Future Shop, wanted to exchange it, and they wouldn't exchange because they said, I think I'd already opened it, and they said they don't exchange media that was already opened. And I tried to explain, that I want the more expensive one. It's not like I'm returning the expensive one for the cheaper one. And I think maybe I pulled a Karen, maybe I had to speak to a manager or something, and I did get it sorted out and got the double disc. But I thought, and still think, that was stupid that they call the lesser one disc one the deluxe, and then the one with two discs with 5 hours of special footage was the special edition. Stupid, anyway. But yeah, so I watched that last week for the first time in many, many years. Loved it. It was very enjoyable to watch it. So I guess now I can talk about who's next. This version here, and terrible packaging as I would expect. Just this my God, how much I hate just this plastic kind of, I don't know, opaque. Is it what does opaque mean? I don't even know. No pictures, no lyrics, no liner notes, nothing. Just a record. I guess in Mexico back then, you were lucky to have any music at all. So going through this track by track now, and I don't have too much to say because I've said it before. I'll probably repeat myself. I don't remember what I said a year and a half ago or whenever it was, but it would probably be pretty similar. So the first song, of course, is Baba O'Riley, which I think, and probably a lot of people thought for years, maybe some people still think, that this song was called Teenage Wasteland. It's one of the greatest songs ever recorded, greatest anthems for sure. And I did talk about this when I mentioned, or when I talked about the Live at Wembley with Orchestra live album a few episodes ago. Just a very, very uplifting song, happy to be alive song, Baba O'Riley. Just incredible song. I can't get sick of Baba O'Riley. And similar to I talked about Kim Mitchell, I think in the last episode, I did get tired of Baba O'Riley because it was on the radio all the time. But now being away from it, now the only time I hear Baba O'Riley is by choice. So I like that. Next is Bargain. This is probably another one that I thought, because this was a radio hit too, I probably thought this was called The Best I Ever Had, because that part seems to, be very prevalent and kind of accentuates the song. It's a great song too. Next is Love Ain't for Keeping. Is it keeping or keeping? It says keeping. I guess it is probably keeping. Let me check the original. Loving for keeping. It is for keeping. Laying on my back in the newly mown grass. Rain's coming down, but I know the clouds will pass. But I know the clouds will pass. The seeds are bursting. You say the babes are sleeping. Lay down beside me, loving for keeping. Like Black Ash from the Foundry. What a beautiful little song. It's only 2 minutes, 11 seconds. Awesome acoustic song. Very summer day, kind of, it's not a happy song like Baba O'Reilly, but it's just a really, really nice song, Loving for Keeping. Next is My Wife, John. Yeah, now they spelled en whistle right on the Mexican version, but not on their own version. I know, you know what? They spelled Entwistle, E-N-T-T. So they made, nobody can spell his name right. What is his name? It's E-N-T-W-I-S-T-L-E, right? There's no H in whistle. Anyway, in any case, I've seen 2 different spellings, and I think they're both incorrect. My Wife is a great song. It also is a fun song. Lyrically, it's obviously about his wife. My life's in jeopardy. Murdered in cold. My life's in jeopardy. Murdered in cold blood is what I'm gonna be. I ain't been home since Friday night, and now my wife is coming after me. I'm gonna buy a tank on an aeroplane. Next is Song is Over. Is it song? This says Song is Over. Is it Song is Over or The Song is Over? I'm sure it's The Song is Over. No, it just says Song is Over. Interesting. I'm sure I have it in my digital collection as The Song is Over. I will have to rectify that. That kind of stuff bothers me to no end. Song is Over is incredible song. It's especially the chorus. And this starts, Pete Townsend is all over this. Obviously, he writes all the stuff except for My Wife, which was John Entwistle, however you want to spell his name. But, he liked to sing too. So Pete, and he sang a lot on this. He sang, the middle part of Baba O'Reilly, Don't Cry, Don't Raise Your Eyes, It's Only Teenage Wasteland. He sang that. Bargain. But I'm looking for that freedom. No, what song is that? But I'm looking for... Does Pete sing on Bargain? I don't remember. I don't think so. Love Ain't for Keeping. No, that's Roger. My Wife. No. Song is Over. Pete sings the... I guess the verses, the first and third verses, and Roger. I love Roger's voice in this, or the music that goes along with it. I'll sing my song to the wide open mountain. I'll sing my song to the wide open mountains. I sing my heart out to the infinite sea. And it's big and grand and similar to Baba O'Reilly. It doesn't sound anything like it. Just makes you happy to be alive and really happy to be listening to music. Side 2, the first song is Getting in Tune. Hard to pick a favorite from this album. I really, really, really love all of them. This is really a perfect album. Getting in Tune. It says getting with apostrophe on the end. Is it getting or getting? These little details. Oh, on the original one, it does have getting in tune, and on the Mexican, it's getting with apostrophe on the end. Whoops, this type sticker came flying out. Another kind of a similar to Love Ain't for Keeping. Again, it doesn't sound like it, but it's kind of ballad-esque. Beautiful, beautiful song. Getting in Tune is longer. I get a little tired of, what's the opening line? It starts with this really, really nice piano. I'm singing this note because it fits in well with the chords I'm playing. I can't pretend there's any meaning here and in the things I'm saying, but I'm in tune, right in tune. I'm in tune, riding on you. I get a little tired of having to say, do you come here often? But when I look in your eyes, I see the harmony in the heart, it softens. I'm getting in tune, right in tune. I'm singing this well. I'm singing this song because it fits in well with the way I'm feeling. There's a look in your eyes. I blew it. Can't remember, but yeah, getting in tune or getting in tune. Yeah, possibly my favorite. Next is Going Mobile. All right, again, this says Going Mobile. Is it Going Mobile or Going Mobile? Let me take a look here. Officially, okay, it is. They both agree that it's Going Mobile. Very fun acoustic song, but much more up tempo. I'm going home, and when I want to go home, I'm going mobile. Well, we'll see how it goes. I'm going home, and when I want to go home, I'm going mobile. Well, we'll see. We'll find a home. I can't remember, but going mobile, love it. Next is Behind Blue Eyes. I'm not going to say it again about my association with Metallica and this song. Great song, another rock radio staple. Behind Blue Eyes was a little bit kind of a harder hitting song. And then the last one obviously is Won't Get Fooled Again. Is this shorter? This says 6:31. I feel like the original version is longer. It is, unless this is a misprint. Won't Get Fooled Again on the Mexican version is, let me check a few others. This one says 6:31. The original one says 8:31. Everything else seems to be the same. Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah, it's only Won't Get Fooled Again. I don't know if they chopped 2 minutes off on this or if it's a misprint, because they got the 31 seconds right, but the original version is 8:31. This is 6:31. I'll have to listen to it and see. But yeah, that's it. So I just wanted an excuse. I wasn't sure which album to talk about today. And I find myself with free time again. I'm having trouble at work again, just like I did in September and October. And it's been great for the last 3 months, and now things have gone down again. I'm only available, there's only a few hours available for me to work this week. I think 9 hours from Monday to Friday. Typically I would work 40 hours those weeks. And then, another 12 on Saturday and Sunday. So I have a little bit more free time, so I wanted to do this. And it's fresh because I just bought it at El Chopito the other day. And, oh man, yeah, who's next? Or 30 Años de Musica rock Salvat, whatever you want to call it, I love it. And it's who's next.